Hello, welcome to Geeking Out with Shad. I am sitting in the Bolt EUV and I promised regular updates. One of the reasons why I haven't been doing them because my plan was as we go into fall and the temperatures gradually drop, I could do constant updates with what happens to the range as that happens. The problem is there hasn't been much of a change since my last update about the cooling temperatures, and the reason for that is we haven't been having cooling temperatures. It's like, what the heck. October has been an extremely warm month here in Minnesota, and it looks like it's just going to continue to be warm. Like today the highs are going to be in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, which is Halloween, is going to be in the 60s. I heard there's possible 70s on Tuesday. Like, that's unheard of. I mean, we would have short, like, day or two warm ups this time of year, but not like longer sustained warm weather like this. So it is definitely unusual. It's really dry. I don't know if you can see in the video, but there's kind of like this dust on the car, and I have washed it, but then it just we had like a little sprinkle, and all it did was just coat the whole car with dust. Oh yeah, you might be able to see it on, it's pretty wild. But that's why I haven't done any range updates as the weather starts to drop. Once it does, I will definitely do some videos on that, and I know some of you are really looking forward to that. What I do want to talk about is the car in general. Like, how is it holding up? I have been driving it. I got 2,317 miles on it as I sit here. And it's been awesome. It's been flawless. It hasn't had any issues. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect, I mean, granted, it only has 2,317 miles, but I just expect a car that's this complex. It's the top of the line premier model, has all the bells and whistles. I just expect that it would have like some quirky issues and I'd have to take it to the dealership. I don't know why. Maybe I just, when it comes to GM and cars that are this complex, I just don't have as much trust in them. When it comes to like Toyota and Honda and those brands, I like my Tacoma, I expected it to be flawless, and it has been flawless, right? But this car, I don't have that expectation. But so far it has, so maybe it'll change my expectation. But if some quirky thing happens, I've heard on YouTube, I've seen other things happen. Other people have issues with the car. Heard about some engine just cutting out, or not cutting out, but not starting after somebody had parked, and there was some weird parking brake thing that had to be replaced. I mean, cars in general have gotten really complex, so this isn't only an EV thing. Anytime I'm talking about that kind of stuff, isn't EV specific. Like the way the brakes work on cars now, wasn't that long ago I had a Subaru Outback, and it just had a little switch thing for the parking brake and stuff like that. Like anytime there's these kind of mechanical things versus like just the typical lever you pull to put on the parking brake that has a cable that, like, if something went wrong, you could probably go and fix it yourself because it's just a cable underneath that actuates the brakes, right? Like, but modern cars are complex, and I just, maybe it's because I'm older or whatever, I just expect that there's gonna be a problem, which is why I always want a warranty. Like, for me, I trade in my cars every 3 years to always have a warranty on my car, and then I get another one, things like that. I can afford to do that. Not everybody can, so I feel like it's important that cars are reliable, because there are people out there that buy a car and they have it for 5-10 years or longer, right? Or people that buy a used car and want it to be reliable, and they drive it for 10 years or whatever, right? So it's important cars are reliable. So it'll be interesting as I own this car over the long term. I will talk about any issues I have with it. If you search on YouTube, you'll find issues with it, but I've searched on YouTube and I found people that have issues with Toyota Tacomas, right? And I have over 25,000 miles on my Tacoma, and I have had zero, absolutely zero issues with it. So take those things with a grain of salt. Yes, there's always going to be a car here and there that has an issue, because manufacturing isn't perfect. It's near perfect, but it isn't perfect. And what's interesting is the one person that cries out about this issue they had with their car gets a lot more attention than all the people that talk about their positive experience with the car, which I always find funny. The big one is, and if you're, especially if you're anti-EV, or you've probably shared this one and made a big deal out of it, but there's somebody out there that has a Chevy Volt. That's the plug-in hybrid car, the original version, that needed a battery replacement, and it was like $7,000 or something like that, more than the value of the car or something. It was some really high price, right? That's like a one case scenario. I know people that have the original Volt that have over 200,000 miles on the car, and it still drives perfect, and the battery still holds a charge and everything, and they've had no issues with the car. So there are cases out there for just about every car. If you go search, you can find somebody that had a problem with it and, you know, balked about it online, and everybody went on the hate train over that car, right? So but I'll be honest, I'll talk about this car. And again, I'm going to just be honest, I fully expect something to go wonky. I just do. I don't know why. My lack of trust in something. You know, this is the top of the line model. It's the Premier Launch Edition, has all the bells and whistles. It's an extremely complex car. If it has zero issues over the long haul, I will be shocked, impressed, to tell you the truth. Anyway, I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.